Hello, 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 hello. Wow. Wow. It's Thursday. It's January 26th.
Yes.
And we're talking about episode 16 of the Challenge 38.
Of course
Ride or
we are.
Dies.
The never-ending
Can I tell you-
season. We're back again.
Can I tell you, I actually went to our YouTube channel today, and I saw that I think it was like episode 147 or something like that was the premiere episode that we did of the Challenge 38, and now tonight we are doing 183. That's episode 183 that we're up to. So almost 40 episodes.
Okay. Well, I mean, now in the Challenge's defense, not that that's really the train that I'm on lately, but in the Challenge's defense, we do talk a lot. We had a lot of things.
Yeah, it wasn't only episodes about the challenge.
Right. I mean, like,
Of course.
With all of our survivors and our traders and our moles, like we've been, and the amazing racers, like we've been really, really busy.
Yeah.
So, like,
but when I saw that first episode that we were talking about the challenge was back in like November, like
That was my
multiple
question,
weeks
was what was
before
the date?
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, this has been going on since before Thanksgiving.
Oh my god.
I'm still loving it. Getting a little tired though. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
I am excited to talk about this episode though.
You are.
So yeah, let's get into it. Let's
do
start this sucker off. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's kick it off.
I was really hoping that I would also like not be the only one doing this when we came back, because Kyle and I were doing it for the entire stream.
There was a split second that I thought it would be very fun to continue it when it was over. But then at the last minute, I said, it's more fun to leave him alone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Take you out.
Yeah, whatever. I was committed. I was committed no matter what.
You
So
were. I love it. Great attitude.
But hey, listen, like I'm John Dunphy. That's what my name is. And I am joined, as always. Oh, Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
He says that we are his three favorite idiots.
High
Yes.
praise.
I love
High
it, yeah.
praise.
I love it.
We
I
are.
love it. I love it.
Also said that was a new
OMG.
intro. That's because he's not here at the beginning of Challenge 3.
Oh, is this his first challenge moment? Wow.
Could be his first challenge early moment.
Gotcha. I
Maybe we're a late
see.
bloomer. Challenge 3.
Well, so listen, like I was saying, I'm John Dunphy. That is what my name is.
It is.
And I'm joined, as always, by my ride or dies.
are.
So hello, Kyle. How are you?
You know,
how's your day going?
actually, it was not an amazing day. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to be
Okay.
here.
Happy to see you. Happy to see you.
Happy.
Gina, how are you? How was your day?
I'm great now that I can actually do something with my day because, as the listeners do not know yet, I have COVID again, so I can't leave
Yeah.
my room.
What is it?
Gina's a little
This is
sicky.
Our third go?
No, this is round 2 for me.
Oh, not bad.
All right, not bad.
Almost a year to the day.
Nice.
All right.
Mhm.
So here we are, John, Kyle, and Gina, and the three of us make up Strat Chat,
That's all.
your favorite reality TV podcast. What do you got, Kyle?
We know.
Thank God. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at StratChatPod. If you want to find our website, you can do so at www.stratchatpod.com. And as I said earlier, we are here tonight to discuss episode 16 of the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies. I thought this was a pretty good episode. Any initial takes? Anything anyone wants to, get off their chest? Anything that anyone wants to say before we start diving into the events of the episode?
No, it was a fun one. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
I just can't believe the episode number is only 16. That sounds like a lie. Like, I know it's not.
I'm telling
but
you,
that can't be
it's,
right.
it's the 90 minutes. That's what it is. It's the 90-minute
guess so.
episodes. It's
exhausting.
I feel like we've been watching this season for 6 months.
yeah, it's been a long season. I do think it has been a good season, but I do like the 90-minute thing. What do you guys think of this? Like, is it necessary?
I've been pretty vocal about what I think about it.
Yeah,
It's
like
just, it would be different if all 90 minutes were packed with really interesting content, but there's so much filler in half of these that I'm like, why did we need this to be an hour and a half every week?
Yeah.
there's a lot of filler, and like I get that a lot. There's been a lot of Tori and Jordan, which I feel like, I understand like can seem important, but I feel like we didn't need all of it. We didn't need all of this.
Not at all.
I actually liked the 90 minutes in the very beginning. I did feel like
when there were still 1,000 people in the game.
There were a lot of people, and it did feel necessary because there were a lot of moving parts to the way this game was played. But once it started to get whittled down, it was like, okay, now we're just like reaching for storylines. We're reaching for things to say, and it's like we didn't have to. You could have just cut it down. I don't think anybody would have complained. It's like, okay, there's less people. Yeah. So we're spending less time here. Let's knock it back. Because nothing that we've got in these extra minutes here have really been impactful. It all feels like filler. But
I agree. Yeah, it's just an interesting choice to go with the 90-minute episodes.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, I guess. But let's get into this. So obviously, last episode, we saw Amber and Chauncey leave. They were eliminated by Jordan and Anissa. And then we saw our challengers coming back into the house. And this is when we first started getting some conversations about Bananas. Bananas, a 7-time champion, a legend. He has somehow gone this entire season without seeing an elimination, which his partner has not. Yeah.
Bobbing.
His partner in Nani has not, she has gone to elimination, but Bananas has not seen one. And so Bananas brings this up, and it's also a topic of conversation for people like Fessy and Jordan and Devin, sort of talking about how has Bananas stayed off everybody's radar in this game, for this long. The guy's a 7-time champ. Somebody should have targeted him by now. Maybe we should be the ones to do it.
In what world was this the first time we were seeing these conversations happen? How has no one been talking about this before?
Right. Because you can't tell me that they weren't talking about it. They were just trying to shove this Tori and Jordan crap on us.
Right,
and that's why we didn't
you'd be
this
hard
is what you should have filled the 90 minutes with.
Yeah. You cannot convince me that nobody in this game thought about this before this moment.
No way.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think a lot of the attention was put on the Tori and Jordan drama. And I guess it made it weird because they went from ride or dies to teams, and who was on Banana's team, right? Fessy was on Banana's team. I guess Jordan and Devin were on the opposite team, but at least you had Fessy, who was, who is probably an equally big threat in there as Bananas at this point. He was on Banana's team. So I think that going from the ride or die pairs to the teams and now back to the ride or die pairs, that sort of jumbled everything up a whole bunch.
That helped because that team never lost.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe once,
it was only once. There was only one time they lost. And I think it was on a women's elimination. So obviously the 1 week that the teams were going on, the 1 week that Bananas could have been put in, he couldn't have because it was a women's elimination. So he was really shielded pretty well.
No, it
there.
wasn't a women's elimination because wasn't that when Mariah ended up throwing Fessy in?
Yes, it was. Now that you say that.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think you're right.
Look at Gina, fact checker.
Thank you.
Gina, aka Snopes girl.
But you know what? That honestly, then it brings up a whole other interesting point because Mariah was the one that ensured that Fessy would be automatically going into elimination, and Mariah's been the one that's she's in a relationship with Bananas.
Yeah, but I don't think the way that was going that Bananas
was the tie even between Fessy and Bananas? I don't think it was.
I think it was Nelson and Fessy.
Nelson, right. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Yeah.
I guess we'd have to then if we really wanted to really deep dive into this, we would have to look at who was on Mariah's team voting for those people. You know what I mean? Why didn't they target?
To my memory, I don't think
Bananas.
he got any votes in that. I think all of the votes went to either Fessy or Nelson.
I know for sure that it was definitely 3-2. Nelson had 3 votes, and Fessy had 2. But I don't remember who else had a vote at that point. Like there was somebody else that had gotten a vote from somebody on Mariah's team, but I don't remember who it was. But yeah, you're right. Like I don't think it would have made a difference.
No, I don't think there was. I think that's where the other vote went. I think Mariah's vote went to that random. I think she did like Chauncey or something. She did something silly because she didn't want to tie it because she's like, oh, I'm going to lose somebody on my team.
Yeah.
Like, well, who said that? Yeah,
and at that point, they were already down.
Right,
yeah,
right,
at that point, they were already down people because they had already lost a daily. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. All right. Very interesting. I mean, so that's it really is true. It's like it's a 7-time champion in the house who has managed to somehow skate by even when he was in trouble.
Right.
Very interesting. All right. So, so now Devin and Tori in this episode had kind of like a spa day. Which I found pretty uneventful, except for the fact here that Devin made a comment saying like, oh, well, if we get power, what do you think? We should probably go for Banani, right? There's a 7-time champ in the house. And this segment actually made me feel like, okay, this is a big episode for Devin and Tori. Because they're talking about
they were going to win. You already knew that
exactly.
was going to be the
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like they're talking about what they're going to do if they get power. They're going to win. They're going to win this daily challenge. And there was a clear divide, like right from the beginning, because Devin was talking about bananas. Tori was talking about Fessy. So, that felt to me, that it really like set up the episode, like what we were going to get going through here. So I'm about ready to move on to the daily challenge, though. Do you guys have any other thoughts, comments, concerns, questions, anything before we get into the daily? Okay. So this was a copy of what we saw recently on the Challenge Australia. This was called Frozen Senseless. And this was, we actually saw a competition similar to this in the Challenge 38 earlier in the season, but it didn't include the ice baths. It had them on like a field where they had to run to separate areas, and like one had a puzzle key and one had a puzzle, and they had to run to the middle to communicate, but it didn't include the ice path, the ice bath. So this did. And that's what the challenge was. They had to start at the ice bath, run in separate directions. They each had a barricade they had to dig underneath and crawl under. And then one side had this sort of station where you had to stick your hands inside and just feel the puzzle pieces, right? And try to figure out what the shapes were. The other person had to run to their station where they had all the puzzle pieces there and could see what the shapes were, but didn't know what the answer was, how to actually complete the puzzle. But both partners, as they tried to go to their stations and figure sort of these symbols out and what the puzzle was, they could only communicate by running back to the center, submerging themselves into this ice bath, and then they could communicate about what they were feeling or seeing or whatever. And yeah, like we said, Devin and Tori took this challenge. They took the win.
Sucks.
I was gonna say, I get the feeling Kyle does not like this one.
It's so boring to watch. Like, weren't you just bored to tears? Like, I hate it. Oh, I couldn't wait for it to be over.
Do you think that part of that is because you've seen the challenge before?
No.
Or do you just not like this challenge?
No. I thought it was a very bad challenge when we were in Australia, but I also just felt like Australia was already kind of being presented as a lower budget season. So like my expectations were lower. Coming into I'm seeing this now again, exactly the same way. I still think it's terrible, and it's even more offensive the second time. Worst challenge ever. Wow. Boring.
Worst challenge ever.
Yeah, that's
it's so boring. Like, there is absolutely nothing about this that leaves me on the edge of my seat. I couldn't care less. I don't get any idea of how difficult this is or not. I've never been in an ice bath. There's absolutely no part of me that can put myself in this.
I will say there was one thing on Twitter that I saw. I think Mariah actually tweeted it.
I saw that too.
Yeah, she was like, this actually I thought was funny. She was like, yeah, there were multiple times that production had to come over and check if we were cheating or not because Fessy was too big to fit into the ice bath. which I just thought was funny. Apparently, he's so large that like when both him and Mariah were getting into the ice bath, it didn't look like they were fully submerged or whatever. So people had to keep coming over and checking. But Mariah was like, "No, I swear to God, we were both in there, bent up like pretzels."
Wow.
Yeah,
And it's also
that I
then
thought.
disappointing that wasn't planned for. I mean, you don't know how long the man is. You don't know, like, what is that?
Right, he's like a very tall, muscular man. You didn't account for that
Yeah.
when you were building this challenge.
Right. It's like, no,
I
whatever.
also like
Just adds to how awful it was.
right. I also feel like that would be a funny thing to show
Right.
on
Right.
on the edit. Like,
All these
show
minutes. All these minutes. And you couldn't give me one good thing. I wanted to skip the whole damn challenge, just skip the whole thing. But you know, there's moments in between. You're like, I don't know what they're gonna be talking about. I gotta watch. I gotta watch. And it's like I would have been thrilled to see that, but no, we had to hear about it from Mariah's Twitter. Footage should never be seen. How ridiculous!
Right. Now I will say, so we mentioned Devin and Tori won this challenge. So that's big for them. A lot of power for them at this stage of the game. Now, I do have to mention something. I actually meant to bring it up earlier and forgot. But today, January 26th, this is Nani's birthday. It is Nani's. Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that on
it's Nani's
Instagram.
Yeah. Nani's 34th birthday today.
34th.
Yeah.
My mind.
Yeah, she was born January 26th, 1989, same year as me, but 9 months earlier.
Happy birthday, Nani.
Yeah, happy birthday, Nani. A vet.
Happy birthday. Bong, 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 bong.
Right? Has been a part of the challenge family for a long time. And I just thought we got a nice, funny moment from Nani prior to this challenge.
Oh, yeah?
And I got a little video clip of it. It just really made me chuckle. Yeah, just really made me chuckle.
Yeah, let's give it a gander.
So here it is. Here it is. Nani on her birthday.
Let's see it.
Be able to communicate.
Now, just in the interest of full disclosure, I dropped. What the was that?
It was a sneeze, but I tried stopping it.
That was not a sneeze. That sounded like.
Sorry.
I was about to call the medic.
I rewound that probably like 178 times.
Yeah,
and I was like, I have to.
Very funny. Yeah, it was really funny. I don't know. I just loved it. I just really needed to make sure that it was seen when we were all together here.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
So that's all. Happy birthday, Nani.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. But anyway, Devin and Tori won this challenge. And TJ immediately told them that they now had some real power because they were going to have to go back to the house, interrogate all of these losing pairs, and decide who they wanted to send directly into elimination in the zone. Now, I love when TJ does this. I'm going to play another video clip for you guys real quick. Because after Tori and Devin won, TJ kind of teased them a little bit. And I really enjoyed it. And I love when TJ does this. So take a look at this.
Which means you are the only pair. "100%. One step closer to the final."
I would have hurled myself into traffic. Like, can we just end this already? Just say it, please.
Which is also funny to think of you now having to run through all those fields and all that stuff to get to traffic. Like, very upset, running for miles just to get to it.
Like, oh God!
Yeah, the image of that is also very funny.
Like, I just love it because, like, especially because of the fact that we know that once we get to the end of this episode, we know that at this point, Devin and Tori really have now made the final.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank God.
But TJ just had to fuck with him a little bit more, and I loved it. I love when TJ does this. I love it. Yeah, that was it. That's all. Those are the videos that I have there. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to bring up following this daily challenge is the video chat that we got between Bananas and Wes.
Kyle immediately,
Kyle immediately looks disappointed.
The life jumped out of him.
You didn't like this, Kyle?
No, I don't ever care about these video calls. They're
You
just,
weren't happy to see Wes?
No. I'm always happy to see Wes in real time. I don't have any time for these silly ass video calls. All right, they're so stupid. I thought it was stupid.
You didn't like
when Nelson called Corey. I think it's stupid with Johnny calling Wes.
Like these are the moments where I'm like, why is this episode an hour and a half long? Why did we have to include this? We don't need this.
Right.
Well, listen, there is a reason that I'm bringing this up, and it's because of all of the many titles that Wes has. Did you see this? Did you notice this?
I did see that. That did give me a couple of chuckles. Yeah.
Okay. Now I have all the images here. I didn't rename them, so I'm going to go definitely out of order. But let's see some of the titles that MTV gave Wes. Wes, Bananas life coach. Wes, 3-time challenge winner. He's a champ, 3-time champ.
This is true. No.
Wes, Bananas best friend ever. Wes,
yet to come.
But Banana's sidekick.
Where's my favorite?
Wes, scumbag.
I mean, that was really good.
I did not notice these.
Yeah. Wes has a dog named Penny.
Are you?
That I didn't notice.
Yeah. And Wes, internationally renowned genius. I'm actually glad this came up last because whoever's making these, you need to do better with grammar. This should say internationally renowned genius.
It's probably the same person who runs their social media, because if you ever know, some of the tweets and Instagram posts are really not great. Like, they are a mess.
Are they bad? Oh no.
Oh yeah. There's always like a problem, a misspelling, some kind of like a grammatical error, and then like people like light them up, like in the comments, like, what is this? Yeah, okay. Like, it's very entertaining. And what's even great about it too is that like they don't acknowledge it at all. They don't take the post down. Like, there's no shame. It's like, are you reverse trolling us?
It's like, are you doing it on purpose to get more engagement?
Exactly. You think we think we're getting you so good, and you're like, right. That was the whole plan.
Like another viral tweet.
Right. Because now we're talking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like, I didn't really want to bring up I thank you, Matt. Matt says, thank you, John, for standing up for correct spelling and grammar on official things. And yeah, like MTV, you're showing this on television.
Right. As you're trying
spell
to
things correctly.
And the visibility of the challenge by doing all these other things, Challenge USA, UK, Argentina, Australia, the World Championship. Now we're bringing it back main stage, and you can't even get these little silly ass things right. Come on now. You're not giving people a reason to come home. Okay?
Exactly.
You're driving us
exactly.
Out. All right.
Oh,
we want less minutes. We want less episodes. And we want better social media. Yeah. And then you're gonna make me fall in love with it again. It almost makes it sound like we don't like it.
Right.
we love this show.
I love this show. Give me less.
Yeah.
Give me less.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say also. I just want to say this briefly. So Kyle, like I did not want to even bring up the Wes video chat at all. The only reason that I felt the need to was because of all the titles.
Yeah.
That's all.
No,
That's
it was fun.
And like just seeing Wes.
It's just, I'm sorry.
Look at this beard.
There is just no world you get me to believe that if Bananas only gets one video chat per season, that he actually chose Wes. This whole moment is just so manufactured, and that's why I have no time for it. Like, I'm sorry. I can tell that they do have a kinship now, like they're very volatile relationship, of yesteryear, of yore, if you will. I understand that we have moved forward. That is no more. Get it? You're more. We're on one tonight. But like, I still don't buy that this is his one call.
Yeah.
Not even Leroy.
I agree with you.
Where's Leroy?
this is not the only call that Bananas got to make this season. But I found this fun. I like the titles fun. I thought they were fun. But I also, I did like this because there was a little bit of like Bananas saying to, like there was a Bananas saying to Wes here like, oh, I'm in a relationship. And said, I'm rooming with Wes, with Devin. I mean, he tells Wes, I'm rooming with Devin. We've been working together. It's been going well so far. So yeah, but we've seen a lot of talk in this episode about Devin saying that he does not want a seven-time champ in Bananas to have a free shot at the final without seeing elimination. So that's why I felt this was also kind of interesting. And this takes us into interrogation. And so we see first Olivia and Horacio come in. And, what's funny about this is that I actually really questioned Olivia and Horacio's decision to save Devin and Tori in last week's episode because I felt like Horacio was very close with Jordan. But instead, they sent Anissa and Jordan into elimination against Amber and Chauncey. And we know Anissa and Jordan won, and they got back into the house. And at the time, I kind of thought, I was like, this is a weird choice to me from Horacio because he seems very close to Jordan. But now we see that this was a brilliant move because Olivia and Horacio saved Devin and Tori. And now this week, Devin and Tori have power.
Yes, but let's not say it was that. It was a roll of the dice that paid off, because this could have gone another way. And then what
absolutely.
Jordan and Anissa going to do if they had won? So this is not like, you can't perfectly plan this. It was a good roll of the dice that played out well for them.
I say brilliant in a way that it's like, in hindsight now, it's like, oh, thank God we did this. We were really smart.
Right. It's also thank God we won the dice roll. It's like,
right.
Yeah. Not to minimize that.
So
you're a great team, great duo. They've had an amazing season.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I just don't want to don't throw too many flowers on this now.
No, absolutely. And I didn't mean it in that way. Like I didn't mean it in that way that like, oh, they're clairvoyant, and they knew that Devin and Tori were going to win, so they saved them. It's more like, wow, this was
temperature check.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so Olivia and Horacio come in. I think the big thing that Devin and Tori wanted to know from them was just who would you save at the draw, and they said Anissa and Jordan. So that was the biggest thing that Tori and Devin wanted to hear. So yeah, exactly. Thumbs up. We now got Anissa and Jordan in there. And this was an interesting moment to me just because Devin asked them, he said, would it be dumb to put Bananas in? And there was a part of me that thought that they were both just going to say, no, yeah, if you want to put him in, put him in. But Jordan actually was the one to say to Devin, well, listen now, like you guys have been working pretty well together this season. Bananas has never said your name. You're rooming together. And Jordan himself actually said, I would have a hard time with saying Bananas' name if I was in your position. Right. Were you surprised by that at all? Especially Kyle, like knowing the history, the dynamics of all of them, like.
No, because of the dynamics of this game. Because Jordan is attached to Anissa.
Like this particular season, this game,
this particular. Well,
okay.
No, well, both actually, both this season and this game. Because this is where I like the challenge so much because it's unique in the sense that like you're going to be playing this game with these people again. So it's not just about this game, it's about future games, right? So that's important. So when you think about that and you think about now all of their histories and they know their futures are going to be, now knowing that Jordan is now sitting next to Anissa, which means he's immediately insulated. He knows he's not going home. There's no blowback to this. So now I can answer honestly because that is how Jordan plays this game. That is a very genuine response from him, I believe. So I can say that now because I'm not in danger. Saying this does not hurt me. So why not? That's my honest answer. And I'm not going to lie to you because I've been playing this game with you for so long. we have a kinship as well. So that like also needs to be protected going forward. So yeah, I think that it
Yeah.
serves everyone well, the way he responded.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I found this to be a very interesting like interrogation conversation that they had. Just because earlier in the episode we saw Devin and Jordan in a group with Fessy talking about how Bananas was the 7-time champ that hasn't seen elimination yet, and now you have two people from that conversation, Devin with the power, Jordan potentially in danger, and Devin bringing Bananas up and Jordan just being like, no, I don't know if I would do this if I was you. It's just like that's why it was so interesting to me, because not that much, further into the future was Devin and Jordan, along with Fessy, talking about like, yeah, we can't just let the 7-time champ not see elimination. And now you have them,
and they're all right. But it's like, but now, what
Yeah.
do you do going forward? And that's what makes this interesting, because if you are playing this game with strangers, if this was a Big Brother environment, I don't know you coming into here. I'm not going to do this again with you ever again. So I don't care how this turns out. Like, I don't care about burning you. That's what makes this a little bit unique. It's a blow to everything. It's a blow to our history. It's a blow to our future if you do something like this to me now, because I've been good to you. Yeah, it's fun.
I agree. All right, Gina, any other thoughts on this topic before we move on? The next thing I have is club night. But if you have any other thoughts here,
no, it's hard for me to really have
interrogation.
an opinion because I'm so new to this world. So like what I would do isn't necessarily what the right, like for me, it's like, well, yeah, don't be dumb, put him in. Like, but obviously there's a lot more to it
There's
than
still
that.
a part of me that says that, but like,
Yeah.
but I get why it's a big conversation point too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This brings us into club night, and I know none of us are really huge fans of club night, but I did think there were a couple of things here.
Little nuggets.
So Fessy, we obviously we saw Fessy. I think you could tell at this point that he was feeling the pressure, that he was probably a likely candidate for the direct vote. So he was pushing hard on Devin for going after Johnny, going after Bananas. But there was a line here that Tori had said, because she mentioned that they narrowed it down. Her and Devin, they narrowed it down as the direct vote is either going to be Fessy and Mariah or Banani. And she said, I like went back to make sure that I caught it and I could write it down. She said, we can go for a 7-time champ, or we can go for the team that dominated the mini challenge. Because the mini challenge halfway through the season is what set up Fessy and Mariah as the team captains. They got to choose their teams and all that, and put us in a different stage of the game. So I thought that was interesting, just because, okay, the big focus for Devin is that Johnny is a 7-time champ. But you do have over here Fessy and Mariah pretty newly back in the game, because Mariah was out. Fessy had to fight with Mariah in an elimination to get back in the game, right? Like, so they won the mini final, the mid-season mini final. They fought their way back in the game. You have Bananas over here who's a 7-time champ. I understand both sides of it. But I hadn't really thought of it. Like, I knew that Fessy obviously is a big target, but like, for you guys, if you were in the game, who would you feel like more like you need to target? The 7-time champ, who is, I will say, and I still think Bananas is a huge threat, and I love Bananas. I think he could win multiple challenge championships in the future, but like, he is 40, right? Where you have Fessy, who won the mid-season mini final, who's much younger. Like, would you go for the 7-time champ here, or the threat that Fessy is becoming and is in this game?
I mean, I don't know. For me, those things are not really super comparable. Like, winning a challenge versus winning multiple seasons, for me, there's a clear answer of which one I'm more threatened by. But again, I'm very new to this, so I don't know if that's just like a very, for lack of a better term, rookie response,
No, I mean, I get it.
It's not an easy. There's no easy answer here.
Yeah, it's not an easy answer at all.
No easy answer. Because yes, you can say that he won 7 times, but like we cannot lie to ourselves that he is getting older. So who is going to be the new? At some point, we're just not going to be winning. We just have to be honest. Like, the younger people will eventually start to have a leg up. So when does that switch happen? Are we there? We haven't really seen Bananas tested because he has not been in an elimination. So you're seeing Fessy always outperforming everyone else. And Mariah is nothing to sneeze at, she's a force.
You seen those thighs? Whew.
Yeah, I mean they really didn't have any issue in that battle back, as we like to call it. So I don't know. They're scary. They're very scary. It's a great conversation. So where do you go?
It gets to a point. Like I get it. Bananas, like especially Devin, he always says like new champs. I want new champs. But it's going to get to a point where the champ that has won 7, 8 times, depending on what happens this season with Bananas, it gets to the point where even though he's a 7, 8 time champ, he might still be easier for you to beat than Fessy, the new hungry kid who's super strong, who's gaining experience every season that goes by.
He is, but
you know what I mean? Like
I think one of Fessy's biggest pitfalls is his he has a very, very poor social game. He is not good at managing these relationships. And unfortunately, he's coming into the challenge environment as if this is all about the physicality and what I can do as a challenger. And unfortunately, that is that's so small compared to what this game is really about.
Which is so funny when you remember that his background is that he comes from Big Brother.
Right, but he also did not play that game well.
It's just, but like you think that he would have
every single time.
Yeah.
Always on the wrong side of the house. I don't know. Like he doesn't have a good social game. I mean, I like Fessy. I really do. I've been standing up for him all season, but like this is not how the challenge is played. The challenge is played by managing relationships, and it's a little bit difficult because even if you're trying to now wonder, what horse do you want to back here? As far as you want to look forward to this future, I now forge this relationship with Bananas, who does have a proven track record, who I'm now getting along with, who has been honoring that relationship all of this season. Maybe I should put my eggs in that basket because this is somebody who might honor that going forward. Where Fessy, I don't have any faith in the fact that like if I burn Bananas for Fessy, I don't know that I'm ever going to get a payoff for that. Bananas is an investment where like Fessy makes him less of a contender in this conversation because unfortunately that is how this is played.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm about ready to get into this elimination. You guys? Let's do it, right? Now, the one thing that I'll mention before we get into the elimination is that Bananas had a conversation here with Nani that apparently prior to the season starting, he had a premonition. Bananas said that he had this premonition, this vision that he was going to come into this house in this season and he was going to work real well with Devin all season long. They were going to work together. They were going to protect each other. It was going to be smooth sailing. But Bananas felt, and what he saw in his mind was that right at the opportune moment, Devin was going to screw him over and get him out of this game, right?
Yeah.
That's what Bananas said.
It was foreshadowing.
And based on what we saw from this episode earlier, there was a real chance of that, of Devin saying, listen, Bananas, sorry, I know we've been rooming together. We've been sleeping in the same place together. We've been hanging out. Everything's been good. But the last elimination before the final, I'm sending you in, buddy. Direct vote. I think that's what Bananas was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about what happened in the zone. So we get there.
Let's talk about it.
Devin and Tori, they are asked by TJ, who are you sending straight to elimination with your vote? They chose Fessy and Mariah. Were you surprised at all? Did you think that it was going to be Banani? Or did you think this would be Fessy and Mariah? Were you?
Sadly, I did think it was going to be Bananas. I did.
Mm.
But I think the editing led us to believe that, it's
Yeah.
really,
Sure.
really setting that up. So it's just like, well, you keep showing this to me.
Yeah.
That's probably where we're going, Yeah.
Right. But the direct vote was Fessy and Mariah, which brought us to the draw. Banani went first. They picked the blank dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, our rookies, Olivia and Horacio, pulled the safe dagger. Now, Kyle, who has been suspicious of the legitimacy of the dagger pull, what did you think of this dagger pull? Were you happy to see Banani come up empty and the rookies come
Are we
up
calling
safe? Were you happy?
bollocks?
Yeah. What did you think about this?
Sadly, I have to say I was happy that they were not safe.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree.
You know how I feel about Bananas. You know how much I love this man.
And he's your winner pick, right? So like,
yeah, he's
you
my
want
winner
him to
pick.
be safe.
He's
Oh.
always my winner pick. If he's there, I pick him.
Right. But I
Like, he's
respect,
my favorite.
and that makes me respect your opinion here even more.
Yeah, because I still respect. I want to respect the integrity of the game.
Mhm.
I really want to believe in it. And if they immediately pull safe, I was like, come on. So it was like, all right, okay. But
Yeah.
I was pleased.
Now, Olivia and Horacio, the pullers of the safe dagger,
Mhm.
choose to save Anissa and Jordan. So
They followed through.
I'm sure, much to Devin's delight,
Mm-hmm.
he had Fessy and Mariah in elimination automatically as a result of the direct vote, which is what
Devin's
Tori wanted.
delight. Wait,
Yeah.
I immediately pictured Devin
Oh, no.
smiling, and then like neon like devil horns and like a neon like red devil tail. Wait, can COVID Gina make this happen?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you
Am I a
We'll
graphic
send it to him.
designer?
Maybe
no,
maybe this
just
is
on
our way to
Paint.
get him on the pod.
No, you just use like Microsoft Paint or something. It's like very silly, just hand drawn like little neon, like little like Devin's delight.
Gina, you have to
Devin's
make this. Send it to
devilish
Devin.
delight.
Devin's
I'm gonna be the one getting
devilish
chewed out by
delight.
Devin.
You're not gonna get chewed out. He would love this. Listen,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about
If-
that.
if we know
yes, he would.
Devin,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
if we know Devin, if there's one thing we know about Devin, it's that he loves attention. And if he got a random podcast to like doodle a devilish picture
Oh, yeah.
of him, devilish Devin. Oh my god, he would love that.
Oh, it's great.
That honestly might be the way to get him on the pod.
I'll try my best.
But maybe we'll get a like.
Gina, it's all resting in your hands.
I'll do my best.
We're excited. But yeah, I thought it was. I'm sure he was very thrilled. I'm sure he was very thrilled by this.
Yes.
And I was also
Because
happy that Olivia and Horatio like stuck to what they said.
There was a
'Cause I-
moment where even Olivia was like, "What's happening?"
Right. No, I'm glad they kept.
Oh
it
yeah,
open
because
that bodes
Horacio
well for them going forward.
Horacio was like he was like, listen, Anissa and Jordan, I know we sent you in last time. And you can see Anissa and Jordan were like, what?
He was like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah. Horacio was like, but this time we're keeping you safe. It's
Even
like-
Olivia turned around and she was like, "Hold on a second. That's not that's not what we discussed.
Yeah.
What is happening?"
But yeah, so much to devilish Devin's delight, the elimination would be Banani versus Fessy and Mariah. And I have to tell you, I really liked this elimination. We've never seen this, right, Kyle?
No, we've never
Bridget?
seen this. We've
Yeah.
never seen this. This was horrible.
Bridget. So
Oh, you didn't
there were
like it?
two large.
No, I liked it. It was very
oh.
hard to watch. This
Yeah.
was painful.
I've got some videos.
God,
I've got some videos
tough
to
really
show
watch.
people, the struggles of our competitors. So this was called Bridget. Bridge It. So there were 2 large towers down in the zone in the sand, lit up with different colors, and on each side of the tower were ropes. Okay, and now each pair would have to start off on an opposite side of each tower, and they would have to try to climb their way up the tower to the top, where they would have to hit a button, set off a flare that would show that they made it all the way to the top of their rope bridge. Now, they were only allowed to use 3 rungs. 3 rungs. If one of the rungs fell, or if the person using the rungs fell themselves, you'd now have to start from the beginning. Thank you, Kyle. That was a very nice demonstration.
A
I
very
appreciate
convincing fall.
it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
This was wild. There were struggles on both sides. But it was clear from the beginning that Banani, they were just better at this. Fessy, I think Mariah a couple of times said that Fessy was just like too big for this, balance wise and everything. Mariah was having a pretty tough time herself. And I think that really a lot of just the experience of Bananas and Nani really helped them in this challenge. So I do have a video here that I'd like to show you guys. So this shows some of the struggles that all of the players were having, but it also shows, because Bananas was the first one to really reach the top of his tower, and then he was trying to sort of like be encouraging and help Nani make it the rest of the way up. Nani didn't want to hear any of it, which I don't blame her, because I feel like if I was her, I would have also been like please shut up, I'm trying to concentrate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to show you, like, because I also then want to show you, Nani made a just an unbelievable catch of one of the rungs as she was about to drop it. So this will just show like some of the struggles that people were having, the drop that Nani made on her rung. And then I have a video after for Nani and like just her incredible catch that helped her and Bananas get to the end, because it was Banani that won this elimination, sending Fessy and Mariah home. But just check this out. Check this out right here. So,
yeah, there she goes. And make sure you have pressure on all.
I know.
Rod. Got this, Non. Come on, baby. Good job. There you go. She got it. She got it.
You gotta be kidding me.
I would have quit.
yeah, right.
But then I also wouldn't have. I would have just been crying so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't quit. Your partner's up there. Like, you just can't. But like,
and,
how is that not anything in the world?
I will say though, like the other thing is that the edit makes it so dramatic, but Fessy was probably all the way down at the bottom. Mariah was probably nowhere more than like halfway up. So like, as pissed as I would have been in that moment and stressed, I feel like I would have been like, all right, I just have to go back to the bottom and start over. But yeah, like you could see how stressful and annoying that was. And because they did show throughout the elimination people dropping, including Bananas. But check this out, because super proud of Nani for this. Happy birthday, Nani. You killed it. Check this out.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
Oh, good catch.
Nice catch.
Oh, wow.
Come on now.
The look on Nani's face, it's just focused.
Oh, that catch with the foot.
I actually got stressed out watching it again. Like, knowing what was going to happen, I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I'm sorry. Nani has really been impressive this entire season. And like, I mean, they were my winner picks just because Bananas was there. But like, I am like so rooting for Nani at this point. Like, this has to be her season. Okay. Like, I honestly, yeah. Okay. Superwoman is right. Yeah. That was sick.
Yeah. That was really awesome to watch, honestly. I really enjoyed that whole elimination. So now something interesting from this is Fessy's first ever elimination loss. He is now going
Like
home.
Ever.
Yeah.
Really?
Because
This
he's
was his
always made
fourth
it to a
season.
final, or he was thrown out for the violence.
Interesting.
Josh. Yeah.
This is the first time that Fessy has been on a season of the challenge and hasn't made a final for a reason other than being like thrown out because of a fight or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's been on the challenge 4 times. 2 of those seasons he made the final. One of them he had that fight with Josh.
Yeah.
Got sent home. This was the very first time ever that Fessy lost an elimination and was sent home before a final occurred. So there's something of note.
Earlier today saw a tweet that I like just pulled back up because I was interested to talk about it, mostly because like I know that Kyle has been like a big Fessy defender this season. I'm just interested in like the opinion on this. But someone tweeted, I'll read it out. Tonight reinforced my belief that Fessy was only undefeated in eliminations due to size advantage. Of course, he's going to win a pole wrestle against one-handed Jordan, beat half his size Nelson in a hall brawl, etc. Glad to see he lost. He needed to be humbled. And I'm curious what our thoughts on that is, as like you two as people who have watched this more.
There's a lot to unpack there, actually. Right out of the gate, I will say yes. Fessy does need to be humbled. So good. I do say good.
Yeah.
But with that, a lot of these eliminations we see are stacked in one way or the other, which is what so much of Tori and Devin's conversations were. Even in this, we're like, we have to see what this is first before we really make a decision of who should go in. Because that's always how this has been. So you're always going to have something that like either gives somebody a leg up or a disadvantage. And in this point, it was a disadvantage. Okay. And yes, he will do well in the more physical ones that are about size. Yeah. Just like Devin will always do better in others with ones that are more puzzle based, which is how, he had sent Bananas home that one season. Like there's always a something that either can give you a plus or minus. That's what the game is. So it just sounds like more Fessy hate for no reason. Like it's no different for him than anyone else.
I read it and I was like, I don't know if this is set like that he won based on luck versus merit.
Right. He didn't win based on luck. He won because he was good at that. And this he wasn't, and we saw it and he left.
Yeah. I actually think that this elimination loss will actually help Fessy more than it will hurt him. I think that he'll come back a little bit of a different player, a little more humbled, losing his first elimination. I think that he'll now train differently because he'll now be like, oh, I have to go out and work out on these ropes and these random like nets and use these rungs, and I have to do this now. I he'll work on his balance. I actually think that this sort of elimination loss will actually do more for Fessy than it will hurt him.
It would also behoove him to take a look at the way he plays socially, and see how these relationships need to be managed a little bit differently. You can't keep playing this same game with the same people. And all of a sudden expect like a shift. I have to go back to Uno. If we're playing Uno all night long, right? Yeah. And you just keep giving me draw twos, you just keep fucking with me, right? Like I'm gonna fuck with you back. I'm not gonna trust you no more. Like by the time we get to 11 p.m., I'm gonna save all my shit for you. I'm gonna hit you with a reverse and then just slam in, So like, yeah, it's like that's how this is. You have to manage these relationships properly. And
definitely.
He doesn't play that game at all. She even said that in this episode. She's like, Fessy doesn't ever speak, and that's why we know that he must have some kind of a real with Mariah, even though that relationship is in question.
Yeah,
somebody did at least comment on it,
Yeah, I don't think Mariah is a huge fan of Fessy anymore.
Shortcomings, yeah.
But
still love you, Fessy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yes, Fessy, Mariah lose the elimination.
Sorry.
Devin and it's who? Oh my god, who do they face? Bananas and Nani. Oh my god.
You came with videos.
Yes.
We've been jumping around a lot. I'm
you
sorry.
came prepared with visual aids, and
Yeah,
you
all right.
forgot?
Okay. All right. I get it. Yes. All right. Thank you. Fessy and Mariah sent home by Banani.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Nani. I also wrote down that today is also Raven's birthday. Happy birthday, Raven.
Happy birthday. All
Yeah.
right.
She's hot. She's very hot.
Oh my god!
But anyway,
you are ridiculous.
But anyway,
We barely
TJ
knew
now
you.
tells us, yeah, now that Fessy and Mariah are gone, TJ tells the remaining pairs, which of course are Banani, Devin and Tori, Anissa and Jordan, and Olivia and Horacio. Our last four remaining pairs, our last four remaining ride or dies, they have made it to the final. We finally reached it. The final is here. TJ also informs us that this final will be 100 hours. 100 hours long. What do we think about this? Is it the longest final ever, right? They usually have an overnight portion, right, on most of these finals, but technically this would be more than 3 days long. More than 4 days long, actually. Kyle,
Right.
any thoughts?
No. No.
I thought you
Okay.
had more to say.
No, I
feel
don't
like
have
you-
any more to say. No, I don't have a lot of faith in their finals anymore. I don't really care how you hype them up. You know that
Well, I'm just curious about the time, the amount of time of it, because normally our finals we have like one overnight period, right? But this is going to be 100 hours. TJ says
Mhm.
so. This is 3 days of 72 hours, 4 days 96 hours. This is 100, so this is more than 4 days long. So we're going to have multiple overnight sessions. I just was curious on your thoughts about it, but apparently you are
Apparently
you
he
are
has none.
not, you have no opinion.
No, because I see how lame so many other things have been. Like simply because it's been designed to be 100 hours. I have no indication it will actually go that long. People quit. They don't give a shit. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I can't imagine it's going to be a straight shot of just competition for 100 hours.
Yeah, I'm also assuming we're probably going to have like our usual overnight games, if like trading off on the sleeping and stuff. We're definitely going to fuck with them in that way. I guess it'll be interesting to see that repeated. There must be some kind of interesting overnight component that I guess could be interesting to see.
Right.
I just,
because a lot of
are
times
we really going to see everyone doing them? Like,
right. I mean, it's interesting to me too, because I feel like a lot of times in these finals, when they're pairs, like you trade off partners, but I'm assuming in Ride or Dies, you're going to be with the same person for the whole time, right? So
I would think.
I'd assume.
right. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's what I had written down for the next on, was that this is supposed to be 100 hours. We also seem to see a lot of vomiting and a lot of blood. So I wrote, should be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's about all I had to say about that. I mean, it should be entertaining at least.
Yeah.
I would love to see an element of, at least in this, similar to what we saw, I don't know what number it was, in that Rivals where Bananas burned Sarah. I would love to see like an individual thing and an opportunity at the end for somebody to snatch it all. And let's really test a ride or die kinship.
Yeah, somebody has to make a decision here.
Yeah.
I agree.
That could be very interesting to me.
Okay.
But
all right.
But even in those 100 hours, they gave me
will,
no indication that was part of it. So
yeah. Well, I guess we will see, huh?
Yes,
Final is coming up. The finale, the season finale is coming up.
Mm-hmm. Thank
so
God.
what do we have on the horizon? Yeah. I know, right? What do we have on the horizon here? So next Thursday, which will be February now, we'll be talking the season finale of this show. But we have some other stuff
I think
coming
there's
up.
going to be 2 more episodes, because I had seen
what?
something. No, because I saw somebody.
Gina, who do you think you are?
Can I finish my statement? I think I saw it was Tommy, I'm pretty sure, had posted that there's like a finale party happening the week after. Like
Gina,
an event.
who do you think you are?
I
Oh
listen.
my god.
Would you rather hear it now and have
No,
to
I
mentally
guess.
prepare, or would you rather be
Is this
blindsided next week that
is
it's not
that
the finale?
is that like the reunion? Is that the
Damn it.
reunion?
It's hold on. Let me see if I can.
It's gotta wrap
find
up.
It.
Because listen, we also have Australian Survivor, okay, starting on Monday. We're looking at double streams on Thursdays until we can wrap this sucker up.
New York City, February 15th, season finale viewing party.
Oh my goodness.
So we got 2 more.
This is the song that never ends.
Yeah, really.
And it goes
Wow.
on and on,
Wow.
my friends.
My goodness.
We do love this show.
No, we do. We do. And the other issue is that we have another challenge right around the corner.
hmm
Yeah, I still don't understand that.
Yeah, that's a very. I was having so much trouble trying to decipher what you were saying about that because it just doesn't make sense.
About what now? With
The
challenge?
Global World Championship of the challenge starts on March 8th,
Yeah.
but the Argentina challenge doesn't start till March 12th, and there's no date given yet for the Challenge UK, but apparently the winners
So we're gonna
of the
we're
Challenge
gonna see all
Argentina
of the winners of those
and the
seasons.
Challenge UK will be on the Challenge Global
Right.
Championship.
I don't
So
understand this.
Like in
So
what
what is
world
the point?
does that make
Yeah.
sense? Why would you
Right.
want to watch
So, like,
the other 2 seasons then if you
why-
already
right.
know who's competing?
like I'm just gonna find out who won the Challenge Argentina and the Challenge UK by watching the Global Challenge Championship.
How is
Yeah.
this not thought about?
I don't know. And this just feels typical. It's like we've just given up. We do we do all of this to hype all this stuff. It's like, you know what, just forget it. We want this all wrapped up because we got the Challenge USA 2 starting in the summer. So goodbye to all this old challenge stuff. Goodbye. We shouldn't have started all this because we're moving on already.
This doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Meanwhile, the Challenge 38 has been airing for the last 17 months straight.
So,
But we love this show. We really do. We do. I swear.
it's all
We
being
actually do love
mismanaged
this
and
show.
mishandled. We should be in charge of the challenge.
Yeah.
But we have Australian
But-
Survivor on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Very excited. Very excited for that. King George returning.
Thank God. Thank God.
Jonathan
What do you think so
LaPaglia
far, Gina? What do
returning.
you think?
I only got like a couple of episodes in, so I'm not super far in. So I
Wow.
don't know
Honestly,
if I
how
can give an
dare
opinion
you?
yet.
Wow. All right,
Honestly,
well,
how dare you?
I'm sorry. Don't yell at me.
You should be ashamed of
her
yourself.
B
Oh my
reels is just
God.
like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored. I don't know what to do with myself. I've only watched like one episode.
I watched 3. Excuse me.
Well, anyway.
Matt wants to know what season you are watching. I directed her to Brains vs. Brawn.
hmm
I wanted her to meet my king, King George.
That was the
I
that was
like
the
didn't
correct
realize.
suggestion as far as I'm concerned.
I started watching before you tweeted something about like King George, so I didn't realize that that's who we've been talking about, and I was like, oh my god, because he came right out the gate, and I said, who is this man? Like, what is happening?
I love him so much. I love him so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well-
will binge more tomorrow. I promise.
Thank you.
Yeah, just do the right thing. I mean, geez.
All right.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, she has a lot of work tomorrow. She's got to do the the Devon.
I have
thing.
to be a graphic designer tomorrow.
You have to literally use Microsoft Paint and just find a neon thingy. You could probably also just do it on Instagram story.
I mean, you 2 won our art contest, so I don't know why this is falling on me, but I guess I'll do it.
Well, because your days are suddenly free.
I
have to
suddenly
work
am
tomorrow.
swimming in time.
Right. Yeah, suddenly. I'm just trying to help you.
Well, listen, guys. I had a lot of fun tonight
My
Mhm.
blast.
talking to you about this show that we all enjoy. OMG, the art contest, iconic. Thank you, Matt.
I'm
We
still
all
bitter.
worked very hard. We all worked very hard. But yeah, if you want to find us on the socials, anybody out there that's watching, that's listening,
Mhm.
wherever you are, if you want to find us on the socials, do so at Strat Chat Pod. And you can find us in places like, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. You know, those are well-known social media sites, I think.
We're everywhere.
We also do have a website. Kyle worked very hard on it. It's called www.stratchatpod.com. I know I messed up a little bit there. I'm sorry. I said a lot of W's. It's www.
It is the World Wide Web.
Yeah, the edible is starting to hit, and
no.
now we will say goodbye.
Well, we also
see
have to
you soon.
figure out when we're gonna share our conversation with Miss Angelica.
Can we just do it tomorrow at 12? We'll just like schedule it.
Sure.
Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You heard it
We
here
will be